approval of October 9th minutes.
Oh, you need a microphone. I don't know. I know it's your first time, Ruth, but.
Do I have? It might be my last real quick here too. Approval of the October 9th meeting minutes.
I approve.
All right, thank you. Second? All right, thank you. Any corrections? Okay, all those. And I have a proxy. I have Brad Lawrence's proxy, and Gary has Clay Merritt's proxy, but I don't see Gary just right now, so we'll see if he comes in. So if not, there's two without proxies. Okay, we're going to deviate from the plan today and go right to the Future Cup presentation. So.
Jerry, you want this up now? Well, I am very, very excited. This was our 5th Futures Cup this year, and it was by far and away our best. We started 5 years ago with 28 guys, and last year we had 76. This year we had 80 guys. And what was really cool is each player, each participant donates $100. And this year I was able to sponsor the tournament so that all of their money, all $100 of that donation, will go right back to the Futures Cup charity that we're going to talk about in just a second. So that's $8,000 that goes right back into the community. Not only that, but we were able to have a silent auction, and a couple other guys donated some money as well. So we were able to raise $8,650 this year for junior golf. Isn't that great? I'm really proud of that. Well, I'd like to present the Futures Cup trophy for 2024. Charlie Powell was the blue team captain this year. So Charlie, congratulations. And I do want to point this out. This was the first time in Futures Cup history that one team or the other, and in this case the blue team, swept each session. So they won Friday, Saturday, and they swept the singles on Sunday. So congratulations, great effort.
So on behalf of the blue team, I want to accept this trophy. It will be proudly displayed at Scottsdale Golf Course until about mid-December, at which time I'll go pick it up and bring it over to Country Club for display while Scottsdale's closed, and then it'll go back to Scottsdale for the rest of the year. I got to tell you, I think I was 1-1-1 on my points, but I'd been playing so bad. I got to tell you this story that I went to Alex for a lesson, and Alex, we go out to the driving range, and Alex says, "Well, let me see you hit some golf balls first." So I hit golf balls for about 5 or 10 minutes, and Alex says, "Charlie, let's go in the clubhouse and we'll do a fitting." And I say to myself, "Well, okay, but Alex, you don't do fittings out here." And the son of a gun took me in the clubhouse and fitted me for a pickleball paddle.
All right. Thank you, Charlie. That's pretty good. I don't know if that's an endorsement for you, Alex, or or not. So what's your number? They can call you for lessons. Yeah. So one of the goals of us in starting this 5 years ago was to advance the game of golf in Bella Vista, and that's why we call it the Futures Cup, because it's all about the future of golf. And it's always been a dream to really blow this thing up in a big way, and I think we're finally getting there. I mean, to raise almost $9,000 in 1 year, I think is pretty remarkable, and I want to thank all the participants for their continued support. And in talking with Daryl Muldoon, it's always been his dream to start a junior golf academy. And we thought, what a great marriage to be able to bring together what we're doing with the Futures Cup Golf Tournament and what Daryl's vision has been for this Future Cup Academy. And so I'm thrilled, because what we want to do is not just teach the game of golf to these youngsters. which is great because as we've all attested, except for Charlie who's now taken up pickleball, the rest of us really are enjoying this game of golf well into our golden years. And it's a game that these kids will play for the rest of their lives and they'll enjoy. But it's not just about the golf. As far as we're concerned, we want to teach them about citizenship. We want to teach them about sportsmanship. We want to teach them the values that they have by learning about good team play and all of the things, the qualities that will make them good citizens. And that's really very, very important to all of us that participate in this. So Daryl, without any further ado, I would like to present you a check for $8,650 for the Futures Cup Academy. And you might want to talk a little bit, Daryl, about your vision and what we're going to be doing with this money and how it's going to help the game grow in Bella Vista. Thank you very much. Thank you.
There we go. Well, David and the Future Cup players, thank you. I was there all 3 days, and it was a great tournament. The sportsmanship, the crying, the laughing, and the best of all, the wives that supported them on the golf course all 3 days was phenomenal. So it is a great weekend. The Gravett kids came out there and hit golf balls on the par threes, and they did, to me, a fantastic job about leadership, about honesty, integrity. These kids are younger and they're looking up at Dave and they're going, hey, and they're nervous, but they did a great job. And that's the vision of mine, is to grow, especially as our demographic changes to the younger demographic, is have an academy out here to teach leadership, honesty, and everything like that. I have two great professionals. Alex is one of them, even though he's a pickleball teacher. But no, we've got two great professionals that will be taking this on. That's Ryan Summers and Hannah Hillier, and that will be down at Tanya Creek when we open Tanya Creek. That is going to be the academy, and this is for all youth. They'll come and they'll sign up for classes. We'll get through them, and this money is going to help us fit them out, educate them. We'll help underprivileged kids. They'll be able to get scholarships from this. So there's a big book. I'm not going to go through it all. We have designed classes, and Hannah and Ryan presented it as well to David and the crew and his co-hosts with the Futures Cup, and they signed up and said, let's do this. So as Tanya Creek, when it opens, you'll start to see the juniors down there, and we'll be through the summer program. So I can't thank you enough. It's a dream of mine, and here we are, ready to roll with it. So I appreciate you, sir.
We're so proud to make it happen. We really are. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just gonna.
So let's get one with Charlie.
That's a fancy camera right there.
Yeah, you were hoping for something really cool.
Stand up, Charlie.
Tom, I'm gonna switch it to the other pictures, another picture.
Dave and Charlie, on behalf of the entire committee, as well as the entire golfing committee, this is something that's really impressive for the golfing community and the young people as well, and we do thank you greatly and know that you enjoyed it, but yet it's really important that you carried it on and done a good job with it. And then this shows that the magnitude of people who were involved in it. It's not a small feat, it's a massive group that wants to be part of the futures of golf in Bella Vista, and I think it's outstanding, so good job.
There we go.
Yeah, we even had a guy on Sunday come out in the kilts and play the bagpipes and everything on Sunday. I want to thank a couple of the guys that sponsored that this year. And oh, by the way, I forgot, buried the headline. I got my first hole-in-one during the Futures Cup this year. And the good thing was I had already provided beverages for everybody for the whole weekend, so I didn't have to buy everybody drinks when we were done. I already did that. I took care of it.
That's why you got the hole-in-one.
Yeah.
That's why the game's played. We appreciate and we thank you very much, so we hope this continues.
know, so there's just like 10 red players.
Yeah.
And all the rest of them are blue players.
By the way, on
They
the
didn't have a chance.
on the committee, Clay and Gary are not here. They're on the red team, correct? So there were, and Jim was on the red team, and Jerry and I were both on the blue team this year. So pretty well represented on the golf committee too. Well, when you have 80 guys playing,
Well,
it's
we
a lot of
appreciate-
fun. Yeah.
We appreciate. Okay, we talked about golf facilities, and we're going to suspend the reports for that until March. So the March meeting will resume that part. So let's go right in with staff reports with Graham and Daryl, and just for notification of the public, those reports will be put online in December and January when we are not meeting, so go ahead, Graham.
All right, so on the golf courses, we've raised the mowing heights on all our short grass tee collar and fairways. I did speak with all the superintendents, and we tried to mow the tees a little bit more based on the feedback we were getting from this group. Hopefully you guys can speak to that improving a little bit, but we are at the maximum we're gonna be for going into the fall, winter.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's gotten a little bit better. We did, going back to last meeting, we were still kind of right in the middle of our fall fertilizer applications. That's complete. We are continuing to clean up leaf drop that is happening ongoing right now. I think we're probably maybe 50% of the leaves are still up in the trees right now. So we've got another month or so of that, I think, before that's complete. On Dogwood and Scottsdale, we've done our pre-emergent winter weed application to stop anything from coming up this winter. And then also we're doing something a little bit different on the Highlands Country Club in Kingswood. We've combined a post-emergent and a pre-emergent application, which we're hoping kind of extend that window out a little bit on winter weeds and into the spring. So we're trying something a little bit different there on those golf courses. They're about halfway through that application right now. We'll finish it up by the end of the month. And then the turf coloring applications, I think those are working really well, very distinct versus the courses we haven't done it on. You can definitely tell what we've done it. And so I've got a picture from Dogwood today. It's on the second slide here.
Okay.
Pretty distinct color difference there, where the rough is, pretty well dormant, and the fairways and tees almost look overseeded. So that's kind of what aesthetically we're going for, and why we're doing this application, but also to try to draw a little bit more heat in through the winter months. So far so good. We're going to continue those applications through the winter, and we're hoping in spring we get an earlier spring green up. If there is any winter kill, we'll be able to identify it earlier and hopefully get it fixed faster, certainly than this year, where we're stretching into July, August, and still doing sod work, which is not where we want to be. And so the last meeting, I did let everyone know that I was meeting with an asphalt contractor. So I've got something to report here. Spent some time with him, looking at various different root affected areas. There is a milling technique we can do. They'll come out and do the process for us. They said that we could expect about 6 months of relief with that process before the tree roots start growing back and then the bumpiness comes back. So the total cost, if we figure, they can get about a course done a day, and with the mobilization for each course, we think that would cost around $24,000 if that's something that, we wanted to do at some point. And again, that's just grinding off all the humps, bumps, all that stuff, making it smooth. Again, we can expect about 6 months there for that cost. Additionally, another option is to grind it flat and then put a 2-inch asphalt overlay, which he says can last anywhere up to 2 years before those roots start creating more issues again. And so I personally looked at some stuff that had been overlaid within the last 2 to 5 years, and we were seeing that actually happening. So we know it's going to be an issue. And he did say in tree roots are not affecting the cart path, we can expect about 15 to 20 years lifespan out of a new asphalt overlay. So that's pretty good, right? I mean, that's certainly not bad. But again, it all goes back to the tree roots. So that's kind of where I'm at with I really just want to get y'all's feedback. we know that tree roots, and it's not everywhere, but there are certain areas where trees are negatively affecting the cart path. So what is the consensus of this group? If we were to selectively remove trees that are causing cart path issues, and before we go through with spending any money to fix anything, let's fix the problem and then look at addressing kind of the result of what the tree roots are doing.
What percent are you guessing is really affected by tree roots on the cart path?
It would be hard for me to say. Anywhere that they're buckled from a percentage standpoint, but anywhere they're buckled. But what we would do in this process is we were not just guess, but where we actually have damage,
Right.
those are the trees we would mark.
Right.
Remove them in the wintertime, and then come up with a plan to resurface the cart path.
So we don't have a general idea as to how much of the cart path we think are affected by tree roots,
Well, I mean, no, I don't.
because it's kind of a month-to-month situation.
What happens to the trees? If we do this to the roots, does it affect the trees? Will they eventually die out? Or
He did not lead me to believe that that's the case. I mean, I think in general, those roots are going to start growing again and kind of start creating bumpiness once again, if we were to do that, do the milling process.
All you're talking about is milling the asphalt. You're not affecting the roots at all.
Well,
at this
it might
point.
scrape
Other
the
than
top of them.
If we cut them, that would be the only thing.
Yeah.
But if you do that, you might as well take a tree out. And then you gotta think about, is that affecting playability? I mean, is that, for our handicaps or that kind of thing on each course? Because we've got some trees we took out and it's definitely affected some of that, so.
Correct. Just to clarify, I mean, Graham and I have spoken about this, and we've looked, and I know, for instance, when I started here, we redid Country Club cart path all the way around, and Ruth was on the board when we did that, and we cut the roots right next to it before we went in there and laid, and it wasn't even 2 years, and it was starting to pop back up. Then we came in and we ground them all back down again. Wasn't even a year, and you could just see it popping back up. And then you do it again, then it just, the whole cart path just dissipates, and that's kind of the problem where we are now. And Graham, we're just looking for a solution. We know it is, but it's a continuous money. You just keep putting on those cart paths, and it doesn't seem to get better over time. That's kind of.
honestly, from my standpoint, it's a lower priority. That's just my vote, and I'm not going to try to sway anybody else. But I know there's some areas that are bumpy around, especially what is it on Country Club on the par 3 on the back next to the sewage plant. That one's bumpy there, but that's the only one, and you're going slow over that anyway. So to me, it's a lower priority. But if everybody else thinks this is really a high priority, to me, leveling the tee boxes is a bigger priority than tree roots, especially when it's going to be an ongoing problem and we're going to have to deal with it again and again and again. I would rather see us spend money on leveling tee boxes and deal with the root issue when it gets to be really severe and it's going to affect the playability of the carts, where it's going to damage carts going over that. Then I think you've got a problem. But for us to be a little uncomfortable going over a couple of tree roots, again, for me, but I walk a lot, so, I'm not in the cart a lot, so I don't know. I'll let other people comment, but from my standpoint, I would just soon, instead of spending $25,000 a year on something like that, I'd like to see it go something else.
Other thoughts? Jim?
Well, I think I agree with that, because to me, it's not, as long as I know where they are, I slow down, and it's not a big deal. But I can see if you hit that going pretty fast, it's gonna shake you up pretty good, some of them, especially the one you're talking about on that par 3.
Yeah, but that's when you're slowing down.
Yeah, and guests, they're not gonna know where they are. I mean, we play all the time, we know where they are, so I slow down, but maybe there's a possibility. That's a lot of money. It seems like a lot of money to me, and I'd rather see the tee boxes level as well. The one thing maybe we could do, how about where they are, paint some big yellow lines in front of them or something, just kind of a caution line or something so people know. And it would even remind me, if I'm not paying any attention, talking to my partner or you know, doing something I shouldn't be doing. I don't know. Just,
You got any speed bump signs, just put those there. That's kind of what it is.
We got too many signs out on our golf courses.
Does it affect golf carts?
It does not affect our golf carts. Club Car has a very sturdy frame, and that's one of the reasons I went with Club Car when we signed our lease. It does a good job. They take it, but we get good fairways out. There's always a fairways. That's to me where the money needs to be spent rather than the actual playability of the course, not the golf cart.
100%.
If we were a course or courses that played 6-7 months a year and closed other than that, we would say it'd be a one-time, but this is almost a 2-time per year. So you're really talking 50,000 versus, and that's pretty pricey.
I
Any
don't
strong
like the
support for
idea of
it?
taking trees out. I
I don't want to take trees, I'd rather, no, I don't want to take trees out.
I don't think we can afford to,
Well, it's not everywhere either. It's,
Yeah.
there's some great big oak trees that are right next to cart paths that aren't doing anything, and then there's some small trees right next to cart paths that are causing a world of, you know, issues. So it would really be a selective deal if we did it, but,
do you have a feeling one way or the other?
as far as what we ought to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know it's, at some point, we're going to have to address it, right? That's my opinion. At some point, that it will have to be addressed. Now, I don't think the answer is go out there and grind the humps every, you know, twice a year.
Every 6
I don't think that that's
Okay.
the answer. At some point, you're not gonna have, you know, the other part about the milling is, you know, you run the risk of tearing out a big chunk of asphalt, then you have to fix that. So, you know, that's the other piece of that,
Well, I would vote for, when it's a big issue, let's look at it.
right,
But until then, no.
okay.
Do we need to stand on a vote, or we just say that we talked it down?
I think it's a good idea that we talked about it, but, you know, keep in mind, we've already, while the budget hasn't been voted upon, it's
Yeah,
pretty set at this time, not 100%, but pretty set, so we wouldn't have room to add $25,000 to the 25 budget. So it's really a long-term discussion, so I don't feel you need to take a vote at this time.
but I think it needs to be addressed that we have talked about it, so that if it comes up in 3 months, we have talked about it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll make that statement. Okay,
And then Tanier Creek, since our last meeting, we've had Fleetwood back, who's the or not the general, but the subcontractor down there doing all the construction work. So they've kind of got everything wrapped up. They have since left, and all the bare dirt areas we've overseeded with ryegrass just to stabilize the surface through the winter. Didn't feel like Bermuda planted this late, it'd be a big risk of having to resod that in spring. So just didn't feel like that was a good spend of money. So we ryegrass, planted it with ryegrass, and this coming spring we'll sod that with Bermuda, but it looks great down there. All the accessories have been ordered. We'll put those out as soon as they get in. The autonomous mowers and ball pickers were ordered as well, so that's all gonna be set up before we get to be open down there. So a couple pictures down there if you guys wanted to see. And that's my report. Any questions?
any questions for Graham?
Just thanks. That's all I can say is our courses are in such good shape right now for this time of year.
Yeah.
We played today at Dogwood, some of us, and it's in fabulous shape. And I do think the extra length on the fairways and stuff has really helped. You know, I'm not using mats yet, and I like the green look. You know, it looks like a real golf course in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, good.
Anything else for Graham? If not, thank you, Graham. Darryl?
All right, we're going to jump into rounds report. First of all, October was a very dry month, 11 weeks without rain for those months, and you can definitely tell we ended October at 22,516 rounds of golf. That's up by 5,000 over last year. Membership is up by 3,630. I love to see the membership playing more and paying out there, which is great. And our guest rounds went up just 1,200. So once again, I'm seeing a bigger increase in our membership rounds than we are our guest rounds, which is super excited. Pro shops, when we have golfers, we sell more products. So October finished at 125% to budget in the pro shops. Here's a big number that I want to just share if we have a look. Right now, year to date, we had 916. We almost did 200,000 rounds of golf. We have 15,700 over last year, and that was a record-setting year. These numbers are crazy, and that's one thing the board are looking at is the Highlands project. That's big. We got a lot of golf out there, and that's a lot of golf. And for Graham to keep the product up like everybody's bragging about, it's great. Imagine we get Zoysia Fairway, it's going to be even better. I don't know when this is going to stop, and it's exciting to be a part of. So our membership rounds are up 9,300, and I guess are up 4,300. So everyone's sticking along. The crews are doing great. My staff's doing great, and so is Graham's guys. So that's a big shout out. Range buckets obviously are down to 45,000. If you told me 8 years ago that 45,000 would ever get range buckets that high, I would never. We used to do 16,000 for the year, but that's just mainly with Highlands and Scottsdale. So busy times. It's great. We had rain coming in November, which was a blessing. But the rounds have picked straight back up again, so we're rocking and rolling. Just to remind everybody that Scottsdale and Country Club are carts on path unless you have a handicap bag, and that's just to preserve our fairways as we go through the winter, so it's good to go. I'm going to jump into something that I personally got in trouble, and I'm apologizing right now. I'll set the stage with that comment, but I was playing golf with my family on a Sunday like I do after church, and we're a threesome. Got my daughter, my wife, we're riding together and we're playing, and tee off at 1:30. I'm behind a membership. In front of us is a foursome. It's a busy day. This was in October. It's great. I'm going there, and when I play on Sunday, I tend to just enjoy my time with the family. It's what I want to do. We get to hole 4, and I'm sitting there in the golf cart and just teed off, pull up to our golf shot, and I'm sitting and I mutter under my breath, man, this is so slow. These guys in front are killing me. What is going on? My wife turned around and just slapped me. She just turned around and goes, Daryl. I was like, what? And she turned around and she goes, well, look at the scorecard and look when we started. You're smart enough, you're a golf pro. So I look at the scorecard and I do the calculations. We're ahead by 8 minutes. So the perception is I'm waiting on the people in front of me and it's slow. And that's the biggest thing. And as I've gone through summer, it's one thing I'm really going to talk about. And we're going to start next year with the pros. And we're going to talk about that and we educate people is look at your scorecard. At the bottom of the scorecard, you got your time allocation per hole. And that's what it is. And what it really was too is I had a twosome behind me and then a single behind them and they're pushing us. And they're single and a twosome. If they look at their scorecard, they were way ahead of time because they were ready teeing off 20 minutes behind us and they're already up on us by hole 4. So that is huge. We got to learn and we got to educate ourselves, especially me. I was guilty. Look at the scorecard, see where you are on the golf course, look at your time and like, all right, I am actually ahead of time. Or if I'm just 5 or 8 minutes behind play, there's no need to get upset. We just finished a hard hole, so the guys in front were battling a little bit. And then get on to the next one, and before you know it, you've caught up your rounds and off you're going. However, if it does get slow and you're looking like, man, I'm now 30 minutes behind them and I'm on hole 4, there is a problem. Give the pro shop, call them up, say what's going on. What we've got in the pro shops now is a little spreadsheet. You'll call up to the pro shop and say, I'm on hole 5. I started at 1:30. And we got, boop, we'll put it in and it spits out if you're up or down on pace of play. And that will tell us real quick, real simple where it is. And if it's slow, we'll send somebody out and have a look and see where the backup is. And that's kind of what we're doing. Every now and then we do have an issue on the golf course where we have somebody, some beginner golfers, some people having a fun time out there, and they do slow down. And we get onto them and we force them and we say, let's go, please speed up, please speed up. But you know, I've had membership come to me and say, you should just tell them to pick up the ball and move to the next hole. I'm like, okay, they pay to play as well. They're members, and I'm going to do that. My house is going to get egged next week. So there's some things we got to be careful about, but just being aware where you are on the golf course is super, super important. And perception's everything. You know, we're playing as a threesome behind a foursome. You know, I'd say we play pretty good golf. We roll, and my daughter plays very well. My wife, we play a little fast, but it was great. We got done. We finished at 4 hours and 10 minutes on a busy Saturday afternoon. It was a great day. But my wife had to line me out and say, hey, slow down. It's just go. Don't point fingers before you look at what you're doing on the course. And we were great. And the other thing that came up is I've had a lot of members say to me that all these guest play, we got lots of guest play out there. Guest play, guest play, guest play. So one of the members called me and we got a problem. I looked up, and on that day I had 3% guests. Everybody else was members. And so I called the member and I said to him, I said, that was all members. And they were like, can't be. I said, what do you mean it can't be? Here they all are here. They played, there it is. Well, I don't see them during the week. Well, no, this was on a weekend, it was on Friday. No, they don't play during the week. So, and he goes, and they're young. They can't be. Our demographic is changing. We have people working, weekends are busy. So don't just assume that when they see younger people out there or people that are new to golf that they guess. We have a lot of growing new to golf. Futures Cup have helped. Operation 36, my pros are teaching all the time. Golf listens to. So it's great. It's busy out there. So perception. Let's just be aware of what's going on. When we get into spring, I'll be talking to group leaders, visiting with groups, and say just communicate. See something, say something, let us know so we can get out there and educate people. And Paul Gomez's little things about getting ready for golf early, being on time, pace of play, those little etiquette deals are great. And whenever I have some stuff, we had a member from out of town that he's a member here, been a member here for years. He brought some friends down. He was a little slow. I just sent him the little clips of the links for Paul, and he loved it. He said, man, that's great. I want to share these with people. And I'm like, that's perfect. That's what that's about. So I appreciate everybody. Golf's on the place to probably set a record this year when we get done. So any questions for me?
Well, I'm looking, Daryl, at, and this goes to your point about being patient. In 2019, we had 125,000, I'm rounding up, we had 125,000 total rounds played. We're going to hit 200,000 this year.
220,000.
All right, so we're going to hit 220. Yeah. So we're almost up 100,000 rounds, right? Am I right on that? And that's a lot of more, people playing, which is great. And it puts a lot of stress on Graham and his crew, and they're doing a fabulous job. Our courses are in better shape now than they were 5 years ago when we had less play. And so, we have a lot of play. And I know you've talked a little bit about raising rates a little bit on the weekends starting next year, which I think is something that all of us on the committee are for. Especially for non-members, what we're talking about, and I think that's good. I think they're still competitive with other courses in the area. I've talked to a lot of people that come and play as a guest, and I ask them, where else, can you get this value? And they go, nowhere. I mean, there's one course they talk about in Fayetteville, and I can't remember the name of it, but that's a long way away from them. And so our courses really, really do well. Somebody also suggested that it might be possible, because there are the premium courses that they like, the out-of-town guests, I like them all, but the out-of-town guests especially like Scottsdale, Highlands, and Country Club. And I don't know if we can, in the future, not next year, but down in the future, maybe look at those courses as maybe even a higher premium for out-of-town guests. It might be something we consider. Because they seem to, maybe we'll look at that, maybe look at those numbers down the future. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, fabulous job, Daryl, by you, your pros, all the people in the golf staff, the pro shops, fabulous job by Graham in this. Look, I came from Kansas City where on the weekend, if you got done in 6 hours, you were happy. And now a 5-hour round is like almost unheard of around here. That's really slow play, and 5 isn't bad for a weekend play. So most of the time we're playing in 4 to 4.5 hours. And even in our group play today, we were complaining a little bit. I'll confess, and we finished in 4 hours and 15 minutes. And I was like, oh my gosh, why is it so slow, And it was not that slow. So yeah, we all have to understand that we've got a lot of people playing, and that's fantastic.
And that's an issue as well, to kind of consider the total package. if you're playing 100 rounds and 90 of them are fairly quick, and you've got 10 rounds that are slower than you think they should be, consider that as well. Because it is a mixture of who's out there playing, and we've got more people coming back and new people starting back up, and it does take sometimes longer for them to play, and we're trying to address that as well. So I say kudos to both groups. So, Jerry?
Just tell Daryl this. I was, not too long ago, in October, we went to Mackinac Island. I talked to their golf course superintendent in there for about an hour in their golf course, there at the Grand Hotel and all that. Beautiful little course, but I promise you, it is not better than ours, any of our courses. I had talked to him. I said, well, about how many rounds do you have a year? He said about 40,000 a year. I said, well, we get pretty close to 200,000. He said, where are you at? I said, Bella Vista, Arkansas. He said, he knew about it. So people from all over the country know about this place. And what we have is paradise, believe me. They had a nice little course, but it was not anything better than what we have, I promise.
Anything else?
Yeah, we're living the dream, folks. We're living the dream.
Is it for you? Okay, nothing else for Daryl? Okay, Tom? Or Alex? I'm sorry, Alex.
No worries.
Before we get to Alex,
I thought they demoted you down there.
before we get to the pickleball expert,
That's right.
I do want to say, and you had it in your notes, Daryl, and I didn't get to play in it this year, but I heard from several of my friends who did the Pretty in Pink or Rally in Pink tournament. Sorry, not Pretty in Pink, but Rally in Pink tournament. I heard it was so fabulous, and everybody that played in it said, can't wait for next year. I mean, they thought it was absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, Megan did a great job down there. They had so many things. I mean, she put everything into a golf tournament that you might have ever heard about. So
Yeah,
really well done.
I'm gonna steal a lot of her ideas
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
the Futures Cup.
I
I'm
think we
serious.
might
I mean,
too,
I heard so many guys that play in the Futures Cup played in that, and they're like, "Oh, you didn't do this, and you didn't do that." I'm like, all right. You know, we'll get it.
Yeah, it was really well done. So, but our season just wrapped up this past Monday with the Veterans Day tournament. We had since last meeting the Rally in Pink, which was an absolute success on all fronts, and the Veterans Day tournament, both great ways to end the season. We had beautiful days for both, good participation, lots of money raised, so we were really happy with how we finished up our season. I passed out some tournament participation reports. I'm just kind of glancing through, just wanted you all to be aware of kind of what all events we have, how they're doing compared to other years. And I think you'll notice most everything is largely the same with a couple of exceptions. Overall, I thought that we had a really successful year. I think letting each golf course kind of own their own events from the POA events, that is, I thought that worked out really well, kind of breathed a little bit more life into some of the other ones, and we're looking forward to getting everything going for next year. We've already started talking about some dates and some possibilities coming into 2025, so good total year for 2024. So any questions on anything? Thanks, you guys.
Any questions for Alex? Thanks, Alex. Tom?
Just want to remind everybody that tomorrow is the community presentation of the annual budget. So we encourage everybody to either attend or view via live stream. It starts at 6 p.m. If you're going to attend in person, it'll be here in this boardroom. And we always have a section towards the end that you can come in and make comments and so forth. So we're looking forward to that. If everything goes well, the following week on the 21st, the board will vote to hopefully approve the budget at that time.
Any questions for Tom? In both November and December, the boards are all moved up a week.
They're moved
Their
up a
meetings,
week.
both meetings
Correct.
are moved up a
Correct.
week. So.
Due to the holidays, yes.
Yeah. Did we have any emails? Jerry, Kathleen, Deborah, any comments?
Yep, I have one actually. I told Daryl this last week, but having young children, I'm just very appreciative of all that you guys do. time that you take, the investments that you make, David, and the decisions that you make to drive the growth of junior golf in the POA in our community. So thank you. Thank you for your time. And a big thank you to you guys. It's awesome to see the record-breaking growth year over year. So thanks.
Yeah, Ruth, I would just second what Kathleen said. Wow, thank you to the volunteers. It's a lot of work. Thank you to the staff. These numbers are amazing and something to really be proud of. And enjoy the holidays, enjoy your time off, and see you next year. Thank you for what you do.
Okay. Okay. Comments? No comment out there? Okay, I don't have any old business. Anybody else? And new business, I've already talked to Graham and Daryl, and they will be reporting for the month of December and January while we're not meeting, and it will be on the webpage. So those reports will be on the webpage, and I will see that the committee all gets a copy as well. Anything else for the good of the cause?
Thank you, Ruth, for all you do. Seriously, thank you.
If not, our next regular meeting will be February 12th and 25, and that just blows me away. I moved here in 20 and thinking, there's no way I'll ever see 2015, 2020. We're talking 2025. I'm getting old, folks. Stand adjourned.